Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. We have touched down in Kisumu region and our motions are always on SDGs. I am Austin Nyumbo.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Today, Kisumu Day Secondary School goes versus Kisumu Girls, and they're debating on whether capitalism is a better way of reducing poverty than socialism. We'll have them take the stage now. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Survival of the fittest. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. These are the words of capitalist people. These are the words of the wise people. Why do I say this? Because capitalism is a system of private ownership, a system that encourages everyone and every human being to work for what they want. Socialism is a system that the government is the one that takes care of the distribution and production of goods. So I stand here today to say that capitalism will end poverty. And I know that what you're thinking right now is that Kenya is a capitalist country and we're having so many poor people. But let me explain this to you. If you look at an instance like Turkana, we see that people are blaming the government. So what is that? That is socialism. You see an instance that people are being poor. They are sleeping hungry. What is that? Socialism. A person called Khalid in Turkana lost his father, lost his mother. But now that he's with his step aunt in Turkana, they're blaming the government because they don't have enough food. Why? They should go out and look for the food themselves. That is the way of the capitalist. Capitalism, do not mistake it. It encourages economic growth, while socialism encourages economic laziness. You ask me why? This is because when you're a socialist, you believe that you'll get something at the end of the day, with or without doing anything. But when you're a capitalist, you have to work with what you have to get what you want. So, why should I get something if I don't even want to work for it? Why? I am a capitalist, and I believe that capitalism is what will end poverty in Kenya. If we look at an instance as the USA, it's a capitalist nation. What happens? Their economy is thriving. Do not look at an instance of Kenya. Kenya is almost partly socialist, partly capitalist, but most of it is just socialist. The government controls most of our production of goods. So if fighting for Khalid in Turkana, saying that that woman, that stepmother should go out, search for food the way she's supposed to, is wrong. Chain me, put me away, for I will not stop. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statements.
Quoting from J.M. Kariuki's words, capitalism ends up producing a nation of 9 millionaires and 9 million beggars. When translated to the world of today, it ends up bringing a nation of 45 millionaires and 45 million beggars. I'm Patricia Ivy from the Kisumu Girls. Thank you. Capitalism only brings about monopoly of power, which enables firms to exploit their position by charging goods at exorbitant prices, which the poor are not able to afford. These firms also exploit the poor. They are only paid very low wages that is not of any profit or benefit to them. In a capitalist society, social benefits are ignored. Resources are unfairly distributed. The rich are given more opportunities as compared to the poor. Hence, it's hard to deal with poverty in such a society. From Orwell's book, The Animal Farm, all animals have equal rights. But in a capitalist society, yes, the animals have equal rights, but they believe that other animals have equal rights than the others. The only benefit you get from a socialist society, is as more as you contribute, the outcome of the society also increases. This making our economy to grow. Take, for example, in my class, a class of 60 people. If you want the person at position 60 to come up, what you can do is to tell to this number 1 in class to harmonize with the number 60, so as to bring up better results. Relating it to our society today, when the rich harmonize with the poor, yes, it brings something better, doesn't it? It brings. I hope my voice is not the perfect choice, but I believe it wasn't noise. Thank you.
We'll hear cross-examinations now. Kisumu Day, you have 3 minutes.
Too much salt spoils the food. But remember, sweet is bitter. Felix Ochieng, Kisumu Day High School. First and foremost, I'm passionate about negotiation. Now, capitalism is better at reducing poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, in Kenya today, we have corporate societies. And the corporate societies have created jobs for the Unilevers. Is that not an achievement? Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is. Because if Kenyans are getting employed, those who are unable, then leaving someone depending on somebody, I think will not help us as Kenyans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, socialism creates a way of putting people together so that they can chase a common goal by joining hands. They do things as a team. They are like parasites in which some depends on others for their daily bread. For example, when my neighbor come and ask for a fish, what do? I automatically tell my neighbor that take the net and go to the river so that you can catch. Instead of my neighbor coming each and every day asking for fish, I think socialism is not doing the best, but capitalism has done it. Ladies and gentlemen, remember of China. China at the beginning used to practice socialism, but in the due course, they realized that there's an input that they need to have only if they chip and are picked onto capitalism. And if you check in Kenya today, China has done a great job by building for us a standard gauge railway. Is it not an achievement? Has that not helped us to do away with the issue of poverty in the nation? Friends, think about that. It was once said by somebody that if you want someone to do something good in a nice way, give that person an opportunity to do it, and they will surprise you. Note that if someone wants to do something, you put them together so that they chase a common goal. Let us remember, if you put people together, they are not going to chase a common goal. But if you give me an opportunity to chase on something, to go for something, automatically I'm going to surprise you, and that is capitalism. If it's not enough, ladies and gentlemen, remember of Singapore is the most successful nations in this continent. And they are not at par with us in academic sector. And yet, they are practicing capitalism. Ladies and gentlemen, food for thought. I rest my case. Thank you.
Kisumu girls, you have 3 minutes for your cross-examination.
This is our country. This is our society. This is me. This is my vision for socialism. I agree. We give people an opportunity, but let us give the poor in the society an opportunity to talk, an opportunity to help us raise our society. Paula Mariam, Kisumu Girls. This results into class stratification. Social division among the rich and the poor causes resentment among the two parties. This means the rich are in control of most of the societies, most of the resources in our country. So the poor have no say. We have to stand firm and help the poor in our societies to have a chance through socialism. If all of us work together, there will be nothing like the rich on this person on this. It will be for all of us. It will be for our own benefit, for we'll be working together with the aim of achieving one goal. In socialism, everyone works hard to fulfill a certain goal for a better tomorrow, compared to capitalism, where the less fortunate are forced to work for less payments. They are forced to work for people so that they can get little wages. That is exploitation of the poor. Socialism will create a platform for poverty to end. All of us will have one aim, as I said. All of us will have one goal. We'll work in unity and share everything for our own development. Let's take a look at this. In the olden days, we have our grandfathers, our ancestors. They used to work together. At the end of the day, after the bumper harvest, they shared all the resources together. There were no crimes, there was nothing. This was because of socialism. It was a society back then, not what we have right now. Look at yourself living in the state of Cuba. Look at yourself as a citizen of Cuba. Cuba is the state where socialism is practiced. Right now, in Cuba, there is free treatment. In Cuba, Cuba offers the best education ever in medicine, I can say. Cuba is one of the countries where socialism is brought to the top. Look at yourself living in a country where you have a say, where when you say something, it can be heard. Not that someone from the top gives a point, then all of you have to follow what that person is saying, all because this person has more rank than you. We want socialism, where all of us are equal and all of us have a say. Capitalism will encourage greed and corruption. The rich only out to benefit themselves rather than the community. Best example, Eurobond. Our government of Kenya got money from Eurobond to assist the country. But right now, all of us are going to be forced to pay taxes so that the money can be paid, even those who have no idea that the government was asking for the money. Please, let us all stand firm and say we need socialism.
The proposition have been asked, if well-known socialist states are doing better than Kenya, then why shouldn't we adopt socialism? And the opposition have been asked, if socialism has failed in countries such as Greece because of factors such as high population, how are we sure that the same would not happen here? We'll have them respond. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Byron Odhiambo from Kisumu Day. Now, if countries like Canada and Sweden, that are the most socialist countries, that are doing well, why can't Kenya do well? I believe that was the question. The answer is, in Kenya, we've got the resources, but the manpower or the technology required to mobilize these resources are not meeting the demand. Actually, capitalism is much preferred at eradicating poverty than socialism. Why do I say so? Capitalism promotes entrepreneurship. I believe that today I talked to one of the biggest entrepreneurs. An example is the Great Debaters Contest. This is an entrepreneurship thing. They have gathered the resources, and that is why today we are here, to get the empowerment and go back home knowing that capitalism is actually better at eradicating poverty. It is only in capitalist state where the son and daughter of a peasant woman and father are able to get equal opportunities. Capitalism provides everybody gets a choice of mobilizing the resources to make a profit. In capitalism, everyone has the freedom of ownership. You are able to own whatever you can own for the better of everyone. If people in capitalist state mobilize their resources, we gather all these resources and we use them for productivity. Productivity, when we increase it, we increase the income they get. That increase the amount they save. These amounts they save are used to create other investments program. That capitalism will also enable those who are poor to get employment because of investment. Our opponents mentioned something to do with it creates monopoly of power in capitalism. For sure, that is wrong. It's actually the government in socialist state that control the resources. They own everything. They are the monopoly of the resources. Citizens are left with nothing because they are the ones who control every factor of production. So what are we going to left with if we can't even get land to farm? That one, we need to embrace capitalism. Kenya is on the run to achieve development by the use of capitalism. We've seen several investors come to Kenya, and we continue creating an environment to enable investments in Kenya. And even today, we have the Great Debaters Contest coming to Kisumu region to showcase what Kisumu is made of. And I believe that we are going to meet at the Nationals to showcase what Kenya is made of and encourage even those countries outside to come and invest in Kenya because of capitalism. Today, we enjoy the fruits of capitalism. I'm able to own a beak. Even my opponents, they own their beaks. They are not sharing. Everyone has got their own, meaning they are capitalists. So why are they saying that we should embrace socialism when themselves, they own their own pen, they are not sharing, everyone has got their books, meaning even them, they understand that you cannot survive with socialism. When you come to stage, they leave that book there and they come here to debate. So one thing I believe, that socialism cannot eradicate poverty. In fact, it will make you poorer because you are going to spend a lot of time working to benefit the few at the expense of many who work.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes.
I'm Perez Akina from Kisumu Girls High School, and I'd like to tackle the question that came from the audience. Somebody asked us, how sure are we that socialism will solve our problem of poverty in Kenya? To answer your question, I'd like to define what socialism is. Socialism refers to a situation where the economic and political system of a nation is run by the people for the good of the people. Let us not get this wrong. When we are talking about socialism, it means that all of us are working for a common good. Greece failed because of one reason or another. There are some people who were not giving their all. But socialism says that all of us should give our best. It is not like capitalism that encourages some people to work or strive harder than some people, and some people to feel reluctant because they are sure that they're not going to get these opportunities. I'd also like to disagree with something that the second speaker said. The second speaker said that in a situation where we have fish, you should teach somebody how to fish. Not that one person gets all the fish or something of that sort. But I believe that socialism encourages all of us to wake up in the morning, to go to the lake and fish, because it's for the good of the community. Not one person is going to benefit from it. So I believe that my opponents have the wrong idea about socialism. Socialism is the people working for the good of their own people. It cannot lead us to poverty. To add a point to this, I believe that capitalism is based on the legal right of people to inherit land, and we can see this in our current society. We have some families that have been born in wealth, raised in wealth, and will probably die in wealth, and this will continue for generations. What if my father was born in poverty? Does it mean I should die poor? Because this person who was born rich always has the resources, goes to the best schools, gets the best education, the best jobs and everything. Just because I was born poor and this person has an advantage over me, I will suffer for the rest of my life. I won't have as much access to the resources as this other person has. I believe that capitalism won't solve poverty in Kenya. Kenya is a state that believes in capitalism. That is why we have a huge gap between the social classes, the people who are very poor and the people who are very rich. Yes, our GDP might be somehow high, but the question is, this money, this gross annual money we make, is it the summary of everyone in Kenya? Or we are just, the most of it belongs to the rich people? It means that we're not considering the poor people. So I believe that saying capitalism will solve poverty is a disgrace to me. Thank you.
We are ready for final submissions. Kisumu Day, you have 1 minute.
Once again, Byron Odhiambo from Kisumu Day is back. You've just heard the opponent ask, some people are born in riches, they live in riches, and they die in riches. And she has asked that if she is born in a poor family, should she die poor? I want to tell you, you shouldn't die poor because of capitalism. There are resources there, go and utilize them, make use of them, and create ends meet and lift the name of your family. Ronald Reagan, the 40th president of the United States, quoted, "Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem." In a society where government owns everything, what do you want the citizens to get? In a society where the government even controls the hours where citizens are working, what do you expect them to get? This is an example of capitalist going on here. These people are here on a Saturday. Saturday should not be a working day, but they are here to make benefits because they want value for their money, because they believe in capitalism. I'm a staunch anti-socialist, and I stand against socialism, and I say government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. Let us stand up, get resources, and get development in our country.
Ladies, you have 1 minute as well.
As I come to the end of what I believe in, I still stand to say that they are wrong. Capitalism and socialism is not dependent on the government. Once the people have made the decision whether to be capitalists or socialists, this is what the government will implement. So I believe that capitalism tends to improve an individual rather than the nation. So if you want us to keep on living in poverty, keep on fighting for what is wrong. That's all I have to say.
Patricia and Tevin, you did not define the terms. It was good for you to tell us what's capitalism and what's socialism, okay? So that at least we can flow and understand for everybody to know. For Patricia, good use of nonverbals. I think you're very, you're very action-oriented, so your nonverbals really complement what you're speaking. The question to you and the question I had for you, and also for Tevin, where is this being practiced? I think I saw that come in later from the other speakers, but you as a first speaker, your work is to set the pace and give us this example, so it was good for you to start that. Felix, cross-examination, that's your role, and that was fair as well, fair submissions. Singapore is the best in the world. Do you want to substantiate any comments that you give, all right? According to who? Paula, cross-examination as well. At least there was an example of Cuba, which was a good example. But you also want to give and substantiate anything that you say that is a fact. Fair submissions, more passion on your delivery will make you better. Brian, I think you're exemplary. That, for me, you stood out. That was very good. I think you're more, probably you could make a good politician. That's what came out, and that's probably profound. Good speaker and role-playing, good simple reasoning. Paris as well. You're also lethal. I think you and Brian had the stage in a way sort of come out like a batter, and that was very commendable. And I noticed that also your teams recognized that because you also came to end, which is very good as well. Paris, that was very good. Good reasoning and passionate, good speaker, quite engaging as well.
Kisumu Day Secondary School, the judges awarded you 67%. Please give them a round of applause. Kisumu Girls, the judges awarded you 66%, making Kisumu Day the winners of this debate.
Congratulations to the two teams on stage. We'd also like to thank our studio audience and our viewers back home. Keep the conversation going. Hashtag GDC for SDGs. I've been your host, Austin Yombok.
I am Mariam Bishar. Thank you for watching.
Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze by Safaricom, the Youth Network.